Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1080.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about why 72% of homeowners regret purchasing their home. Now, that's a little bit surprising in some ways because most people are pretty happy with buying a new home. It's a big purchase. It's something they've looked forward to for a long time. In some cases, it's a dream home. In other cases, it might not be quite the dream home yet. But nonetheless, buying a home is a big deal, and it's usually the largest purchase that we ever make. So why is it that homeowners right now are regretting sometimes these purchases? This goes back to a survey that I'm going to share with you that was done by Clever Real Estate. They conducted it in July and included 1,000 individuals who bought a home in 2021 or 2022. So right off the bat, they're saying the reason why 72% of new homeowners in the past couple of years have regrets about their home purchases, the number one reason is 30% of respondents said they spent too much money. And the second most common regret was rushing the home buying process, with 30% saying their purchase decision was rushed and 26% indicating they bought too quickly. Now that makes total sense because of COVID and everybody who wanted to buy a home not having enough homes available. A lot of times people were overpaying or they were buying homes that didn't really meet 100% of their specifications, but there just wasn't the inventory out there. And in some cases, they just felt lucky to be able to buy a house. Also, with interest rates rising, that has also encouraged people to take the leap sooner rather than later. And rather than waiting for the ideal situation, they might have jumped in too quickly and now feel some regret about it. But what's interesting is 31% of buyers said they paid over the asking price. The median amount paid over the listing price was $65,000. So I can see where you could have kind of a mortgage hangover or a mortgage payment hangover after you buy a house and pay $65,000 above the asking price. Not only are you worried about future prices and the fact that you could lose money on your home, since some markets have started to turn lower, but you also are stuck into a situation where you're paying more every month for the life of your mortgage. Now, the thing that's really scary is that 36% of people polled said they made an offer on a home without seeing it in person first. That is an enormous mistake, and it's something that's so easy to make because we see beautiful pictures and we think everything's lovely, but we don't realize that the angle of the camera cut out the fact that our neighbor's home is right on our property line, or that we have something terrible in our view sight line, or they've left out some horrible problem with the home and just didn't include that at all. So trusting just photographs to buy a home is not a good idea. If you can't be there in person, you definitely want to send somebody else there and have them walk through it with a camera so that you can see through their camera what exactly the home looks like. At a minimum, of course, it's always best to be there in person, but if you can't, that's the next best thing. But just buying it from listing photos is a terrible idea. Now, the article also says that because competition was so fierce, 80% of buyers said they made more than one offer, with 41% making 5 offers or more. About 1 in 3 buyers said they searched for 3 months for their homes, while 1 in 8 took 6 months or more. So the fact that 80% of people had to make multiple offers to just get a home tells me that the level of frustration was so high that people were willing to do anything just to get a home. And that meant that they overpaid or they bought without really looking at it. They did things that weren't in their best interest because they were in a bit of desperation. And now, having rushed into it, they realized that the market is opening up a bit. Prices are coming down, inventory's going up, there's more out there. Maybe the sacrifices or the things that they didn't get with their house, because again, they didn't get their perfect house, they regret that now they didn't get the number of bedrooms they needed, or the square footage they needed, or the big backyard that's fenced that they wanted for the kids and the dogs, or whatever it is. But I can see how jumping into something quickly and out of desperation is going to result in regrets later. And we're kind of still in that situation because even though inventory has gone up, now interest rates are rising and people feel pressure to buy before interest rates rise more. So that is also putting pressure on people. But I think you just have to relax and really try to take a deep breath and not jump into something to just get anything. I remember a story about a year ago where people overpaid by $1 million over the asking price up in Washington State. I can't imagine the regret that they must feel for paying that much. But maybe they don't. Maybe they're happy and maybe that was the perfect house and they have no regret. I don't know. But I happen to think that there probably is some regret there. Now, the article goes on to say there's several moves that prospective buyers can make now to put their deals on firmer financial footing. And so we're going to cover what those 3 things are so you can avoid regrets when buying a home. Number 1, insist on a home inspection. Close to half of home buyers, or 43%, made financial concessions like waiving a home inspection amid fierce competition for homes, according to the survey. But without a home inspection, you can run into some really expensive surprises later, such as unexpected home damage that can lead to big regrets, big repair bills, and other problems. Maybe you needed a new roof and you didn't realize it, or maybe there's a problem with rats and you didn't realize it, or maybe there's some sort of plumbing problem or electrical problem, a bigger ticket item that could cost you a lot of money. A separate survey from insurance firm Hippo recently found most homeowners, 77%, have had to pay for unexpected repairs within the first year of owning a house. 77%. So can you picture that? Here you have overpaid, you didn't look at the house, and now you find a major repair that is going to cost you in your first year. This is just a recipe for disaster and something that we really want to avoid at all costs. The second thing you can do to avoid regrets when buying a home is to ask for seller concessions. A seller concession is a contribution the seller agrees to make to help close the sale. This can be like having the seller help out with closing costs or pay for extra repairs that need to be done on the home. Sometimes you can split the costs. Sometimes you can pay full price and then have them pay these extra costs. But this is something that you now have more flexibility to ask for since the market is shifting more toward a buyer's market. And the third thing you can do is find a real estate agent who's in your corner. Good real estate agents are so important. Find someone who's very experienced and who is the top agent in your neighborhood that you want to buy in or sell in. It's made such a difference in my experience when selling a home to have the top real estate agent who knows everybody and everybody knows them, and they have a full book of clients that they can call to come look at your home if you're a seller, or they know the inventory very well because they've sold so many homes in the neighborhood, they know every house that's out there. This is the kind of valuable information that an experienced top agent can bring you. So don't underestimate the importance of hiring someone who has been in the business a long time and who is a top agent in your neighborhood that you're looking to buy or sell in. There are a lot of agents who are part-time agents or who aren't experts in the neighborhood. They're out of their neighborhood trying to move over into another neighborhood, or they're a friend of yours and so you hire them. There's a lot of different reasons why agents get hired. But I'll tell you, the best thing I ever did was hiring a top agent in the neighborhood when I wanted to sell my home. It meant that I got top dollar, the best situation, fast closing. I mean, everything was done so well, and it made a huge difference from when I used other agents who were hired because I knew them, but they weren't really experts in the neighborhood that I was looking to buy or sell in. So again, the 3 tips are: insist on a home inspection always, ask for seller concessions, you can always negotiate those, and find a real estate agent who's in your corner, and preferably an expert in the neighborhood you're buying or selling in. If you have regrets, it's important to really sit down and see if this is something that you can live with, or if the mistake that you made was so terrible that you really can't live with it. And if that's the case, what can you do to maximize your sale price if you need to turn around and sell your house, having not lived there for very long? You want to try to do some at least minor improvements so you can justify a good selling price for the home if you haven't been there very long. Talk with your agent about that, and also look at the inventory that's out there in your neighborhood and see what the comparison is, how prices are faring right now, what the trends are, because some neighborhoods now have an abundance of inventory while others are still very tight in inventory. So it really varies depending on where you are. But try to talk to experts and get a real feel for what's going on in your market. That's how you can be savvy and smart and make the right decisions that are going to help you long term. I'll put a link to the article in the show notes so you can take a look at this. And don't forget, all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. I've got lots of podcasts there regarding real estate, how to get your home ready for sale, how to get top dollar. There's lots of different real estate topics in my wealth mentoring library. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.